Yo, what is good, YouTube? Krishan checking back in with another video. So starting this video off with updates of Nick Walker and Urs Kalecinski. I thought this was interesting to share because these guys train back, and it seems like Urs Kalecinski was holding his own. Now, it's great to see two pros train together, and even better to see a classic guy train with an open guy. I feel like that's something we don't get to see often. But both of these guys have very similar training methods if you guys follow them. They both train slow with more control in the movements, and I honestly prefer that over seeing guys jerk around weights a lot. But hopefully Nick Walker gave Urs Kalecinski some tips on how to bring up those arms, and hopefully Urs gave Nick some tips on how to pose on stage and not just come out and hit most musculars. But this was interesting to share, and hopefully we'll see the full training video soon over on one of these guys' YouTube. The classic physique guys haven't really been putting out a lot of updates, but we do have updates of Terrence Ruffin coming soon, guys. Now, more news from Nick Walker, who put this up today. He did say in the caption things are starting to roll now. So I wonder if Nick stopped working with his last coach because he wasn't necessarily happy with his look. Me personally, the last two physique updates of Nick Walker, they were impressive, but not as impressive as I'm used to seeing from Nick. Now, when I take a look at this, the shoulder to waist ratio looks a lot better than what I was seeing in the past. And I think Nick Walker made a smart move going back to Matt Jansen, because they've worked together for a very long time and Matt knows how to peak his physique, whereas Dom has never peaked Nick. Now, as I was making this video, Hunter Labrada put out a crazy update. Everyone says Hunter Labrada is going to get pushed out. This guy does not get enough credit. Hunter has a lot of muscle, can match up with pretty much all of the top guys except Big Ramy. Hunter has crazy arms, good forearms, also has calves, crazy quads, and this guy is a great poser. Also, Hunter has a great structure for bodybuilding. He's about 5'9", maybe even 5'10", which is the standard Mr. Olympia height. A lot of the shorter guys constantly get knocked for looking more blocky. Now, switching over to Blessing Awodibu, he put this out today, and he did put on this post that he's going to be top 3 at this year's Mr. Olympia. Now, I'm actually not even going to comment on that at all, but Mark's Max Muscle did a great video. He compared Andrew Jack at the Arnold Classic UK to Blessing Awodibu at the Indy Pro. And in all honesty, I feel like Blessing won that comparison. And I know that is a very bold statement, but I'll actually link that video in this description if you guys haven't seen it already. Go check that out. And Blessing Awodibu was also dropped from Redcon again, if you guys don't know about that. Now, in the next update of the day, we have recent updates of Vlad Suhoruchko. And this picture is just circulating all over Instagram right now. Pretty much every news outlet has put this out. Vlad is looking freaky ahead of this year's Olympia. And I think if this was last year's Olympia going into this show, I would say that maybe Vlad could crack into that top 10. But this is going to be one of the most competitive Mr. Olympias in years. And we also have a lot of more aesthetic guys. Vlad is a guy with a wider midsection. And you put him next to Charles Griffin, Rafa Brandao, it's not going to look too good. But Vlad is looking incredible right now. Now, we did discuss this in the last video, but I hadn't seen these photos yet. This is from Quinton Eriya's guest posing this past weekend. And when we talk about Andrew Jack, Samson Dowda, all of these Nigerian guys taking over, we can't forget Quinton Eriya and Blessing Awodibu. All of these guys have crazy small midsections and incredible quads, except Blessing, he could definitely bring up the quads. But I also like how all of these guys are taller guys and they're very heavy, but they also are great posers. They don't just go side to side hitting most musculars. Hopefully Quinton hops on stage soon. And switching over to Antoine Vaillant, these are the most recent updates of him. And Antoine said he is eating the most he's ever ate going into a show. Now, as I've already said, if Antoine is able to bring the same conditioning and detail from Vancouver and Chicago, and he's also managed to add maybe 3, 4, 5 pounds of muscle, I think Antoine can shock a lot of people at this year's Olympia. And we do have a very busy weekend coming up with 2 pro shows this weekend. And we also have the Amateur Olympia where Crizzo will be trying to earn his pro card. But you guys are now currently looking at the competitors list for this weekend's Tsunami Pro, I believe is in Italy. And it did hurt a little bit not to see James Hollingshead on this list. James looked so good at the Arnold Classic UK. We thought we was going to see him the following week in France, but he wasn't there. And seems like James also isn't going to be at the Tsunami show. Now, Mark Hector is in this show, even though his name isn't on the list. Jamie the Giant Johar will be competing in the Legion Sports Fest, so he won't be in this show. Mohamed L.A. Mom, great guy. He's going to be a top guy at this show. And we also have William Martins from Brazil hopping in this show. This guy is very popular in Brazil. Almost every single day I'm seeing updates of him by some Brazil news account over on Instagram. But I do think this is going to be an incredible show. Hopefully James Hollingshead hops in. Now we also have the Legion Sports Fest this weekend. Now I'm going to start off with Justin Rodriguez. Now Justin is going to be the favorite going into this show. And that's because Justin Rodriguez has been in the top 10 at the Mr. Olympia for the past 2 years. But we aren't really sure which Justin is going to show up. You know, let's try to do the math. In 2021, he did the Indy Pro, the New York Pro, the Arnold Classic, as well as the Olympia. So there's 4 shows. He kept prepping and did the next Arnold Classic, the Boston Pro, the Indy Pro, and then the New York Pro again. So Justin has done 8 shows in a little more than over a year, and I'm pretty sure he's been in prep the whole time. I'm not really sure what he's trying to prove. Justin is one of the top bodybuilders in our sport, and I believe he should take a little bit more time off. But Justin is working with George Farrell, who seems like he's killing it with these guys, so it's possible he brings his best physique to date, but I'm not 100% about that. Now switching over to Tonio Burden. Tonio and Justin are probably going to be the top 2 with this show. If Tonio is able to even improve his posing a little bit and come in condition, I do think he can push Justin. Where Justin beats a lot of guys from the back area. Now Tonio isn't going to beat Justin from the back, but he can definitely hold his own. So I think this is going to be an incredible show. Jamie the Giant Joe Hall, who knows what he's going to bring. He did say him and Milos plan on coming in very, very full. And let's not forget about Stan DeLongo Stanimal, who was the training partner of the late Sean Roden, may he rest in peace. But Stanimal is coached by Patrick Tour, also an incredible poser. I still think he needs a little bit more size to be competitive at a show like this, but who knows, if guys come in off and he nails his conditioning, his posing, I think Stanimal is going to be in the top 4 regardless, but as far as him winning this show, a little bit more size. And switching over to Classic Physique, these are recent updates of Terrence Ruffin, I think. He did post these up on his story a couple days ago. Terrence is looking incredible at 10.5 weeks out from this year's Olympia, but is Terrence going to be able to push Chris Bumstead for that title? The only critique I really have on him, Terrence does look a little bit small in this side chest pose, but of course this isn't open bodybuilding, so size doesn't matter as much. But do you guys think it's possible for Terrence Ruffin to be pushed out of this 2nd place position? Could a guy like Ramon Dino possibly pass Terrence up at this year's Olympia? Now switching over to Logan Franklin, we have more recent updates from him. And Logan has definitely brought the back up. From what I'm seeing right now, as long as Logan doesn't have to lose too much mass, I believe this back can be competitive with everyone in the top 5 at the Classic Olympia, except Breon Ainsley. But as you guys see, Logan definitely has to bring up the legs from behind, and I honestly believe just due to the weight cap, I don't think he will be able to do that in Classic Physique. So hopefully the weight cap gets a boost or gets eliminated. Now switching over to Neil Currey, who is a classic guy who has been putting out a lot of updates. And I noticed that Neil Currey is looking pretty much almost stage ready at 3 months out. So I'm wondering if Ben Chow was just focusing on getting him ready early. But I also know that Neil Currey is a guy that says he looks better 10 or 15 pounds above the weight cap. So eventually I do think they will have to boost the weight cap because these guys can't stay the same weight for years and years and years. And ending this video here with the archive of the day, you guys let me know in the comment section below which legendary bodybuilder is this. As always, I hope you guys did indeed enjoy this video. If you haven't done so already, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm Krishan from Go Fitness, and that's it. I'm out.